For years, as a guy over 30, I felt defeated by my stubborn belly fat. I really thought I tried everything and nothing was working. But what finally made the difference for me wasn't actually a new fat. It was learning to track what actually mattered and making meals that I could enjoy. And realizing that my only problem was not motivation. In this video, I'm going to show you how I finally broke through when everything else failed, so that you too can finally get those abs to start showing through in 6 months or less. Point number 1 is the biggest revelation that has led to most of my clients losing their 100 pounds. It's actually pretty easy, but it takes a great deal of commitment. I actually got this from Alex Hormozi recently. I really like how he explained this, and I thought it applied to this point perfectly. So this is his mental toughness model, but this line represents how long it takes you to throw you off your game. This line represents how long or how far down you go whenever you're thrown off your game. This is how fast you come back to baseline and if you grow from that experience. So right here is your baseline. This is how you act every single day. This is basically, you can think of this as being on your diet, doing your program, things like that. That's this line. When you eat bad or go to a holiday, have a Super Bowl party, whatever, and you feel guilty about it, how far down do you go? What does it take to throw you off? And then how far down do you go? We don't want to just eat 3,000 calories because we failed a little bit. And then how fast do you snap back? If you snap back the very next meal, this is the most powerful indicator for my clients. This whole thing is what this point's about. But then do you learn from that and get better? So instead of being defeated, are you like, hey, next Super Bowl party, I'm going to consume a protein shake before and I'm going to bring a really healthy buffalo chicken dip and I'm going to eat the whole darn thing. And then this would be your new baseline. You have learned to navigate Super Bowl parties, and that's just like one example, but like fill in the blank. That's why there's 1,000 of these things in life. And that's why this is a skill like anything else. So earlier, whenever I said this is easy, but it takes commitment, this is like the hardest one in a way, because it's about consistency. It's about day in, day out, doing the right things. But remember that model, it's not just about being perfect. It's about getting back to your baseline, because those instances where you drop are gonna happen. In fact, it's funny. One of my clients just messaged me. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna try to blur out the name. Actually, I can show you on my phone, my lock screen there. But see, it's Derek's message. And it says, I only got 4 hours of sleep last night, so the workout was kind of a bust. I stopped early so I'd have the gas to get my 10,000 on the treadmill. So that's what I'm talking about. He didn't make it perfect. He lacked, and I'm not kidding. This was literally, look, can you see it's 12 minutes ago? I did not plan this in the video. This is the skill that my clients learn. Honestly, Derek's one of the best at it. I hope he watches this video, because he snaps back super fast, or he doesn't let the 4 hours of sleep bother him, and he does the best he can. And was it the perfect workout? No, it sounds like he missed some stuff, and I'm gonna have to review that later. But it's just not that big of a deal. So this is really about staying in a calorie deficit, no days off. That doesn't mean perfection. There's going to be some days where you're not able to be in that calorie deficit, and that is okay. But what I mean by no days off is no like intentional days off, no cheat meals or cheat days. And you should really be tracking everything. That includes sauces, that includes weekends, that includes drinks. So no days off. You're tracking every single day. This allows you to not rely on willpower, but to rely on systems. And that's getting back to that baseline thing, because you just start following your systems again, regardless of how you feel. So my daily habit list, I'm going to show you on the whiteboard here. So these are going to be your non-negotiables. Not that they're done every day, it's just on days that they're non-negotiable, or you have to move them to another day. So number 1, that's going to be lifting. You have to protect your muscle. Lifting by far is the best way of doing that. Number 2 is your steps, getting to that no matter what every single day, or getting really, really close at least. And number 3 is going to be your calories and protein. If you don't know what your calories should be, take your body weight times 10. That's going to be roughly close to where you need to be. It could be a little bit higher, but hey, if you're a watcher of this channel, it's not going to hurt to move a little bit quicker at first only. And then protein is 1 gram per pound of your ideal body weight. If you want to be 200 pounds, that's usually where a lot of the guys that come to me want to be. Then try to eat 200 grams of protein. Don't take a day off where you're like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to eat 4,000 calories today. I'm not saying you're not going to go above your calorie limit, but just don't dump it all out the window. And if you're not used to food logging, one thing that makes this a lot easier is my Fire Protein Cookbook. I'm going to show you that as well. I mean, these recipes, I don't know if you can see these, they are fire, dude. And all of the portion sizes are in grams. So you have to wonder if it's like a cup or a tablespoon or it's awesome. Just get it. It's free in the description. So even if you're consistent, if you miss this next one, you are going to gain it all back. Point number 2 is what I call the SMART calorie deficit. I never claimed that I was creative with my titles. So this is a little bit about me. I used to, whenever I was like really losing the weight and just hating myself more than anything, which you might relate to, sadly. And that's why you're here, maybe. But I wanted sustainable fat loss. I always said I wanted sustainable fat loss. I wanted something that was permanent, but I never felt like I was progressing. Even if I knew it, my heart, and you might resonate with this. Let me know in the comments if you do. My heart said I wasn't progressing unless every day I stepped on the scale and I saw a decrease in weight. If I saw 0.4, 0.5, 1, 1.5 pounds lost, it was a success. That meant I was losing somewhere between 3.5 pounds per week. Whenever on a day-to-day basis you want to lose weight, if you zoom out even just a little bit, you're like, holy cow, that was a 1,500 calorie deficit at least per day. No wonder I quit all the time. It's when I chose to actually say, you know what, the day-to-day doesn't matter. I got to look at the pattern. That's what matters. And I just listened to what my head knew my heart wasn't getting yet. That's when it started to work. Every week I would drop a pound, maybe a pound and a half. And as time went on, I dropped so much weight. Whenever you're losing about a pound a week, you're gonna have natural cycles between maintenance and losing. And what I mean by that is you're not losing fast enough. Like today, for instance, today's actually a really good example. I didn't think about this. I overate today. I wasn't feeling great today mentally, and I overate today. And I intentionally kind of said, you know what? It's one day, who cares? And so maybe for this day, I'm maintaining. You might go through, we're coming up on Christmas. You might go through seasons where it's okay to maintain. Imagine picking back up from maintenance to a fat loss phase. If your graph was down and then you maintain naturally for a while because it's, you know, a series of birthdays and holidays or whatever, or a hard time in your life, and then you picked back up. If you did that every time something hard came up, you just maintained, you would be there in no time instead of going back up and having to restart. So here's what I want you to do whenever you feel stuck. Give your plan 2 full weeks of actually being on the plan. Be honest with yourself. Have you been on the plan? Or did you have some Taco Bell here and you had something else here and you missed 2 workouts there? Sometimes my clients are like, man, I've been so consistent, Aaron, what's going on? And I look out and I look at their month and I'm like, you have missed half of your workouts. You know, every day I check in with them and I'm like, hey, I saw you miss your workout. What's up with that? And they give me a reason, and it's a legitimate reason. But you can't expect results. I think this is another Alex Hormozi quote that I heard recently. This just came to me again. You can't expect results from the work you didn't put in. But remember, I just said it's okay to maintain. So we just pick back up. That's the secret power here. This brings us to our next point, which is about binging. All of us have probably done it, viewers of this channel at least, and I'm right there with you. Get this right though, this next thing, and 95% of your binges just won't even happen. This is what I call the forgotten third pillar. We've all heard to eat less and move more. That's these pillars. I hope that that makes sense. Like, you know, those Roman pillar things, look like mushrooms, whatever. We've all heard to eat less and move more. The third pillar that we're always missing is your sleep. And I know half of you just tuned out because like sleep is a boring topic, but it is the easy, lazy way to lose weight compared to exercise. I'm telling you, don't sleep on this point. I'm so lame. I think I've actually said that in another video, and it's just, my lameness continues. I'm gonna show you this study. I'm gonna put it up on screen instead of putting up my phone, but this graph right here shows the total amount of weight loss between 2 groups. Notice how close those dots are together. The amount of fat between the black line group and the white line group, the black line is lower, and then the amount of fat-free or muscle mass, but usually mostly muscle, the black line is higher. This is all based off their sleep. The black line had reduction in sleep. Those people had to sleep less. So the people that slept more, and I think it was just a full like 7 hours, they lost of their weight, which was the same as the group, the black line group. They lost much more fat and much less fat-free mass, even though because of calories in, calories out, it really is a thing. They lost about the same amount of weight. Poor sleep blocks fat loss. It raises cortisol, throws off your hormones and everything, but you're still gonna lose weight. It's just not gonna be the right kind of weight, and that's why whenever you reach the end of a diet, you gain it back. We have got to spare our muscle through lifting, through protein, and the third pillar of sleep. Now, I know that doesn't match my third pillars over there, but those are the 3 pillars of keeping muscle. Now, I don't claim to be a sleep expert, but I find with my clients, whenever we really start working on caffeine and then going to bed consistent times, those are the hardest 2 things that lead to the best results. Those are like the 80-20, you know, if you've heard of that principle. Those are the 20% of things that lead to 80% of better sleep. So cutting off your caffeine at 1, 2 p.m. at the latest, which I know is difficult for a lot of people, and then consistently saying, no, it's 9 p.m. I'm going to, or whatever, pick your time. I'm going to bed and I'm going to wake up at 5 and I'm going to do this every single day, no matter what, even on Saturday and Sunday. It teaches our body when to get tired and when to wake up, and you feel so much more rested. Because sleep isn't just about length of time, although that's all that study did. It's all about the quality of sleep as well. If you combine getting back to baseline, that was point number 1, with a smart, sustainable calorie deficit of roughly 500 per day, which leads to a pound a week, and sleeping really well, you are going to crush it. Now, if you follow this plan, you're going to lose a bunch of weight, and you probably need to know what to be ready for if you're going to do this. If you're ready and you don't quit, you will 100% of the time succeed. So watch this video over here where I go over just that.